Okay, our big idea, we can have a chemical equation with not only formulas, or we can have them with words. So we're going to start with word equations in this video. So when we're deciphering word equations, we want to keep in mind our nomenclature rules that we've been practicing. If it's an ionic compound, remember we're not going to change the metal, aka the first one name, but we're going to change the non-metal, the second one's ending to IDE, unless it is a polyatomic. Remember, they have a set name for it. Because we're starting deciphering these equations, you probably might not see a polyatomic there. And also transition metals, they're going to be the ones in groups 3 to 12, plus lead and tin. We're going to use those Roman numerals for the charges for it. So like if you see iron, III, remember it would be just Fe plus 3, but remember we're starting in the basics, so we might not have these more complicated ones for it. Now, if we're naming covalent molecules, we're going to see that we're going to use our prefixes from 1 to 10, that mono, di, tri, and so forth. And then you're going to change the second one ending to IDE. Remember that diatomics just lets us know that it's two of the same, so we have don't hassle the Brinkelhoff for it. Now, as we decipher these word equations, we're going to see that yields means our arrow in between our reactants and our products. Now, we can say it also could look like to produce or to form as we're going through it. And if you see end, that just means plus. So if we see sodium and chlorine, we would have Na plus Cl. And we know that Cl is a diatomic, so it would not only be Cl, it would be Cl2. Okay, let's try the first one together. So we're deciphering these word equations. It says calcium oxide reacts with hydrogen chloride to form water and going through all my different colors, calcium chloride. So let's get started deciphering it as we go through it. So calcium oxide. So we know calcium is Ca. It's in group 2, so we need a +2 for it. Then oxide is O. It's in group 16, so that's a -2. So cross it over. We'll see that our 2 and 2 will simplify, so we're going to have Ca and O. So CaO is calcium oxide. It says reacts with. So that's going to represent our plus. Hydrogen chloride. So hydrogen is H, that's a +1. Chloride is a -1. We're going to cross it over. So we get HCl to form. Okay, we're forming something. So we're going to have our yields arrow here. What is water's formula? Yes, H2O. We see an and. We're going to have a plus. And then we now have our calcium chloride. So remember, calcium was Ca +2 and chloride Cl -1. And then we're going to cross it over. We don't have to show the 1, so we'll just have CaCl2. Now, I picked an ionic one that was a little bit more work to kind of get you started putting together our nomenclature for it. But they won't always be this difficult going through our charges. So let's look at number 2. It says carbon tetrahydride reacts with oxygen to form water and carbon dioxide. So the same way that we just did it, we have carbon tetrahydride. So we have carbon, tetra means 4. So CH4 reacts with, that's going to give us our plus. Oxygen, what do we know special about oxygen? Remember, don't hassle the Brinkelhoff. So it not only will be 1, it will be 2. So we have CH4 plus O2, 2 form. So we have our 2 form is going to be our yield. We have water again, so that's H2O. Then we have and, that represents our plus, and then can we translate carbon dioxide? So carbon would be C, di would be 2, and then O2 for it. So that one was a bit easier because we had just been working with molecular compounds. Let's try our next one. We have diatomic hydrogen and diatomic oxygen yields water. So we have diatomic hydrogen. So di means two, atomic means two of the same. Hydrogen symbol is H. So with H2, we see we have an and. That means we have plus, and then we have diatomic oxygen. So di means two, oxygen symbol is O, so H2 plus O2 yields, that's going to be our arrow, and then we see that we have water as H2O. So they actually got simpler as we were going through and deciphering these different word equations. So that's why we worked with nomenclature as we were going through. So thanks for watching on how to decipher word equations.